I got a new Spider-Man t-shirt, a Spider-Man Dr. Pepper, and I just saw Spider-Man Far From Home. Hello everyone, Spider-Man Far From Home is a sequel to the 2017 film Spider-Man Homecoming, directed by Jon Watts. Tom Holland reprises the role of Peter Parker / Spider-Man. Jake Gyllenhaal now joins the cast as Quentin Beck, aka Mysterio. We have Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Marissa Tomei is back as Aunt May, Zendaya as MJ, Jacob Batalon as Ned, and Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan. I must say that I really enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home. It manages to keep the teenage vibe and humor of Homecoming while balancing the aftermath of Avengers Endgame. This is not only a very different Peter Parker, but a different world and just film in general. Spider-Man European Vacation, so to speak. We have a Spider-Man film that is outside of New York City. Peter has been a hero in the city for quite some time. He needs a vacation, but most of all, he needs to just be himself. Especially after the death of Tony Stark, we see the effect of the world with the snap, aka blip, and Iron Man murals everywhere. There's a great quote where Peter Parker's just like, "Everywhere I go, I see his face. I just really miss him." Peter feels like he cannot step up to the plate and be the next Iron Man in this film. You know, with great power comes the great responsibility. And Peter in this film has to balance his personal needs with the needs of the world. I love the character of MJ played by Zendaya in this, and I feel like they greatly improved her character in this installment. In many ways, she is just as awkward as Peter, and it adds to their chemistry with each other. The world seems to be knocking Peter Parker down like many of the great comics and previous films. He just cannot get a break. I like the addition of Nick Fury and him seeking out Spider-Man to go after these so-called elementals. We get a lot of cool nods to Hydro Man and Sandman, and some of that reminds me a bit of the Fox Kids TV show from the 90s. I love the way the film handles Mysterio. Gyllenhaal is incredible, and I love the mentor role he plays for Peter Parker in this film. It does have the same humor from the last film, but it feels more authentic, and it feels a little bit less like a Disney Channel original film. The first half of this film I greatly enjoyed, and I thought it was alright, but the second half is superb, and it's what really gets the show going. The scope of this film is bigger, and I love the cinematography. And like many of the great Marvel comics, this yet again is about the characters, first and foremost. We feel for Peter. We're there in his ups and downs, when he makes mistakes, when he must rise up as a hero. That's what I like about this more than Homecoming, is that Iron Man doesn't need to come to the rescue of Spider-Man. No, this is a Spider-Man film. Tom Holland grows into the role and owns this role of Spider-Man. It sets up some interesting plot threads for the feature, and I cannot wait to see how they will explore those plot threads. And I cannot wait to see how Tom Holland will continue to grow in this role. You may be asking, is this better than Spider-Man Homecoming? It is on par, but I feel that it is a superior film. I love Michael Keaton's Vulture, but the villain in this film really stands on his own. There are a few surprises and nods for fans of the comics and previous films. Stay after the credits. I urge you to stay after the credits. I give Spider-Man Far From Home a 4 out of 5 and an A-. It is a worthy epilogue for the third phase of the MCU. Be sure to follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic. Hit the thumbs up down below, subscribe, and comment for more videos. Now, for those who have seen the movie, it's time to discuss spoilers. What can I say? Spoilers leave in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers! I love Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio. Everybody was like saying, is he going to be a hero as Spider-Man? And I'm like, when has Mysterio ever been a hero? Like, never. Any fans of Spider-Man know that Mysterio is one of his main villains. And I love the twist. I love how they handled him. How Gyllenhaal relished the role. I love him in this. I love that they brought him as an illusionist. His ties to Tony Stark were a great surprise, that whole twist. I love the first half. It would have been cool to have the multiverse as explored in Endgame, but I'm kind of glad that was all fake with the elementals. This was a much more grounded and more realistic twist, and I just love this. I absolutely love this twist. He is a villain on his own, and there are even a couple of nods to the old video game. and cartoon comics with Mysterio that I just absolutely love. And yeah, they made the fishbowl work out of all things. I also like some nods to the video game, whether it's Spider-Man swinging with a cell phone, Aunt May working at the homeless shelter, volunteering. I love the stuff with Ned, the whole romantic kind of chemistry between him and that other girl, and like Peter Parker trying to ask MJ out. You know, you feel for him. It's just like, damn, he cannot get a break. The humor there. I love the upgraded suit, the little kind of stealth Neuer-esque suit. I love the suits in this. Night Monkey was hilarious. The humor, it did have a lot of humor, but it felt more authentic, and I really dig the humor in these films. It has that John Hughes 80s film vibe. It feels very much like a teenager, you know, coming of age type of stories. And I cannot wait to see where it's explored at the end. I would have loved it, absolutely loved it, if it just ended the way it did. But that after credits scene with J. Jonah Jameson, I love that they got J.K. Simmons back, but then Peter Parker's identity being revealed, him being an enemy, reminded me very much of the end of the Civil War comic. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where the future of this Spider-Man will go. I also like the stuff between Happy and him and like Aunt May. That was hilarious. But I love Peter Parker really standing up as a hero, having to figure out stuff on his own. He's more of a scientific mind. I love that part where Mysterio's like, don't ever apologize for being the smartest person in the room. That was so great. And yeah, this had a lot of surprises, some that I was expecting, some that I was not expecting. The first half, it's all an enjoyable film. I love the stuff with Edith. Tony Stark has a sense of humor, even in Death I'm the Hero, but it's one of those things where like, I really enjoyed the first half, but the second half really felt like a Spider-Man film. And in many ways, once the villain was revealed, it kind of reminded me of how Guardians of the Galaxy 2 felt. That film really got going. It felt like a Guardians movie once Kurt Russell came out as a villain. And I felt the same way with Jake Gyllenhaal. I love Michael Keaton as Vulture, but Jake Gyllenhaal is really on a different level, really stands on his own. And most of the best Spider-Man films have great actors, only one villain as the main villain, and it works. Anyway, that does it for my brief spoiler thoughts. Let me know if I missed anything down in the comments below, and let me know what you thought of the film down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other videos here, and be on the lookout for my Spider-Man ranking, which will now include Far From Home and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Check that out later this week on my channel. Till next time.